Been a decade since the Bassmaster Elite Series has been here to legendary Lake Seminole. All of us so anxious to get back and see how this year's edition of the Bassmaster Elite Series would strategize on Lake Seminole, the approaches they would take. So let's take a deeper look into that with our Humminbird Unlock the Lake. Ronnie, why don't you start by leading us right into it?
Yeah, the Humminbird Unlock the Lake. Mark Zona said it all week. We knew that multiple areas on Lake Seminole would factor and play, and boy, have we seen that. The Flint River, Wingate, Spring Creek, the Chattahoochee, everywhere in between has factored. And for Greg Hackney, he came into the final day with some big-time momentum. Third place, a big bag on day 3. We thought the charge could happen for him, and he did a lot of his work this week in an area a lot of other hammers were in, Z, but he outfished all of them.
Yeah, and really looking at this Humminbird Unlock the Lake with Greg Hackney fishing the lower end of the Chattahoochee, getting one of those little backwater bays where the water's a lot cleaner, and it was just making adjustments throughout this tournament, going from a buzzbait and a swim jig to a lot of sight fishing. And the one thing to really take from Hackney, who was punching them through thick mats throughout practice with a big weight, as the fish changed moods. Greg Hackney going to a very, very lightweight with the Strike King Rage Bug and getting it done. And really, like you said, out fishing the competition around him. And take a look at Pat Schlapper. Not quite the area Pat Schlapper was actually in right there. Pat Schlapper was in the mouth of Spring Creek. We got to talk about it early today, getting his job done in about a 15-foot ditch. Hydrilla growing almost to the surface, and it really just felt like there has been a shad spawn there every morning, because he would absolutely light them up. Most of Schlapper's work throughout days 1 through 3 with a drop shot, getting it done big time today with a suspending jerkbait. Big morning for Pat Schlapper.
Seems like day to day, Tommy, it would be a slow bite. You could only do it fishing finesse or flipping, and then the other days, all of a sudden, it's a moving bait bite. This morning, it was a huge moving bait bite for Pat Schlapper, switching to that jerk bait. And obviously, he's had to adjust this afternoon and catch some fish sight fishing as well.
Very, very common for every day to be different on a different timetable, but it was fun getting the day started with Pat Schlapper.
Been fishing with some big-time momentum the last 2 seasons in the Elite Series. Kind of a big fish hunter, seeking out some of these big-time bodies of water like Santee Cooper and Chickamauga, catching big fish as we take it over to Tyler Rivet, living in the Flint River. Honestly, coming off of the highest of highs, winning at Okeechobee, Z, we wondered if there would be a fall-off, but he has carried that momentum into a flawless 4 days here at Seminole. It's good when your worst day has you in 16th.
Yeah, and it really kind of seems like Tyler Rivet figured this tournament out late on day number 1 with cameraman Brian Evie catching a late 6-pounder and just seeing a lot of movement in that backwater. And the one thing that we've got to see, at least in the Flint River, if you got in one of those magical 50-yard stretches, you could absolutely decimate them, while others in those little pockets and creeks literally did not catch much at all. Another great tournament for the young angler from Louisiana, Tyler Rivet.
Yes. Tyler Rivet, 17-4, 19-11, and 25-11 over the first 3 days. Man, oh man, momentum is strong in this sport of bass fishing.
Yeah, and even though it was a little bit of a tougher day for Rivet, being able to adjust and get a limit is huge. And a guy who honestly had to switch gears from his Okeechobee finish, second Elite Series event of his career, Kyoya Fujita, picking up his spinning rods, sight fishing some, really outfishing a lot of people in the Wingates region, Z, which is known as a great sight fishing and a great, finesse area at times because of the clear water.
No doubt. Fujita fishing a little bit in Spring Creek every single day as we would watch him, but really the majority of his time spent in the Flint River in that little pocket up by Wingates. And the best way to put it, just like Tyler Rivet and other anglers in the Flint, the pockets are not as big as other areas on Lake Seminole. Fujita just out fishing other anglers around him.
Having the biggest bass on that final day early this morning, kind of put his hat in there trying to challenge this man, Tommy, Joey Cifuentes. What a spectacular weekend. On a day 2 where it was tougher for a lot of anglers, he had 26 pounds and an ounce, and that was the day that set him apart from the rest.
There's not that many of them. Finally. That's about No, 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 no. Oh my God. Yes.
Big tournament for Joey Cifuentes. We talked about it in this Humminbird Unlock the Lake. An angler that found something to himself, like we saw Tyler Rivet do a week ago in the Kissimmee River. 22 feet of water, a hand-poured drop shot worm, quarter-ounce weight.
Yes.
Very key trees, submerged timber. Basically a minefield. Joey Cifuentes getting it done.
That'll be a good call.
Took a different approach, just like we saw at Lake Okeechobee, the Kissimmee River for Tyler Rivet, a different approach for Cifuentes. We knew forward-facing sonar could factor this week, but did we know it would dominate like this for a specific angler? A lot of people not doing those techniques, Tommy. He mastered that technique this week.
Absolutely. Wasn't without a lot of stress on the final day, but Joey Cifuentes, absolutely a great performance by a rookie out here on the Bassmaster Elite Series. That is your Humminbird Unlock the Lake.